Well, hello and welcome back to the Crick House. It has been a while since we have been here with you on a podcast. If you remember back to a previous podcast, we mentioned that as a family we were going to be on missions together over the summer, and that is where we are now. This is partly why we haven't been able to get to our podcast setup at the moment, but here we are today at a table. Now, it's not our normal table. We are at a very special table in a very special place, which is partly why partly to do with our missions trip, so we'll explain a little bit about that in just a minute. But seeing as it's been a while, let's just refresh everybody's memory, or if you're new with us here, welcome. Let us tell you a little bit about ourselves, and then we will jump straight in to today's podcast. It's not meant to be a full-length podcast. It's more of a life update and this is what we're doing and how you can be praying for us sort of thing. So almost like a chat with our family over a cup of coffee and a really nice big bit of cake.
I don't have no coffee with my cake.
At the table. But anyway, so let's introduce ourselves.
Don't even have a cream tea.
No, we don't have a cream tea. No. Hint where we might be.
I had toast with soft cheese and chives, which was brilliant, by the way, contrary to popular belief. But cake pales in comparison.
Okay, well, on the left side of the table.
Devon cream tea.
No, but
Hint, we're in Devon, guys.
Actually, we're not.
We're not in Devon.
We're not in Devon.
Scones.
But let's drop that for a second. On my left, we have
Dad. I'm Gary. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Mum, I'm Jamie. Hi.
Then we have the littlest one among us.
I'm Eli.
And then we have me, Oscar.
And the other me, but my name's not Oscar, it's me, Ari, the only girl. Woo!
Yes, the only girl, praise the Lord.
Well, Mum's here as well. Mum's here as the only daughter.
I'm joking. And then, of course, I'm Noah. For anybody who has ever seen Oscar in person, you can recognize him when you're listening to him by this one fact. He's always wearing a hat. So if you ever met our family, you know exactly who was talking there. That's a distinguishing factor. Everybody's like, oh, who's your brother? The one in the hat. And everybody instantly knows who it is. So we intrigued many people with our comments about scones or scones or however you choose to say it. A certain YouTube channel that Eli has suddenly got mega addicted to called How Ridiculous, a bunch of Australian Christian guys.
Oscar, tell them about How Ridiculous.
How ridiculous.
We're going to give them a shout.
We're going to give them a shout out, are we? Well, in the hope one day they'll hear it. Well, yeah, it's awesome. They do slow-mos, crazy stuff, slicing fruit. It's really weird, but it's cool.
But all that to say, they do these things called tests. So if you're listening on YouTube, I guess we could call this our test. Scone test. Is it scone or scone? Let us know, because we're not sure.
Do you put jam on first or cream, or do you do one either side and smush them?
I think my answer is it's only a scone until it's scone. And there you go.
That's really bad.
Because then it's been eaten. So all that to say, where are we? Someone do the grand reveal. Where are we?
Lou, Cornwall.
We are in the loo in Cornwall.
In the loo.
Say that slowly. We are in the loo in Cornwall. Now, this is part of our missions trip, isn't it? Because we are doing a mission to Teignmouth. We're taking our passion play there, and we are going to see incredible things happen.
But where we're staying in Lou Cornwall is very special, and Noah alluded to this slightly earlier. We're staying in a really lovely flat belonging to a really sweet Christian couple who actually listened to the podcast, which is amazing. So,
hello.
So Caroline and Kevin, we are doing this podcast from your dining room table.
We're looking out. Tell them a bit about what's out the
estuary,
window.
Aren't we?
So we can look straight out onto the harbour and the river that runs straight into the ocean. And one of the favorite time passes we have developed while here is we've got quite a high vantage from where we are up on like the cliffside. So there are some really high-powered binoculars here.
Thank you for leaving them.
And we just sit at the window all day and spy on everything that's going on below us. We have located a number of interesting facts about the town. And at night, when like all the lights are on in all the houses and on the boats and on the river, it's absolutely beautiful.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Lou Beach last night was incredible with the sunset coming down.
We have found a special person with the binoculars.
We have a very special old man who lives in the, I believe it's a care home across the road. Is that right?
Yeah,
is it?
We call it the Conservatory Care Home.
Yeah. So he sits in the doorway of the conservatory care home and just sits there. And so we've watched him with the binoculars, which is a bit freaky.
Yeah. So
We were
basically, you're
not
stalking.
spying. We were just observing, and we've noticed that he is in his little doorway morning and night, and
All alone.
so we've been talking about going to talk to him.
Yeah. But that's where we are. So we're in this amazing little place in Lou. Thank you so much to the guys who've let us stay here, and it's just so exciting to hear that they've heard our podcast. But
Absolutely is.
The only-
It's so special here.
the only way they know of us is our voices.
They haven't seen us yet. have
So I
they?
could be bald and they wouldn't know.
I'm the bald one. You've got some hair. You're blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have too.
But no, it's a very special place, and we are thoroughly
got
enjoying our
wild
time
hair,
here.
Eli.
He has.
No, you just look like a muffin that's exploded.
He had wild hair this morning, didn't he?
He certainly did. Okay, so we are in Lou Cornwall, but why are we here? What are we about to do? Somebody tell me.
Not sure, I've forgotten.
Mum's not sure, she's forgotten.
We are here because we are on missions, so we are going to be putting on a passion play in Devon, although we're staying in Cornwall. We're putting on a big passion play in Teignmouth in Devon, and we're going to be doing it on the streets in the middle of it all. We believe.
During the big regatta meet.
Yeah, during a big sailing regatta. And we're here with the whole missions team. We're going to meet up with them today, which is going to be super duper exciting. So
Absolutely, they're all travelling down to Devon on a minibus. Should be leaving in 2 minutes, but we'll see how that goes.
They're on Birmingham time, aren't they?
So actually, some of the cast are already in Devon. Some of the cast are actually already dotted around Devon because they've come down for a few days before.
That is
and
true.
then we're all meeting.
That is true. So there is people descending on Devon from all over the West Midlands area.
I'm sorry.
And yes, and some from Surrey, to come and perform
Hertfordshire.
the Passion Play, which we did in Leek, as you will have heard us talk about on the podcast several weeks ago, where we saw, I think it was 7 people got saved, 2 people got baptized in the Holy Spirit, and 1 person got physically healed. So we're believing for double numbers, triple numbers, 4 times the number, many things.
Sevenfold.
7.
7-fold. But that's just on the day that we're doing the Passion Play. What we're not telling you is that in the days running up to the Passion Play, which is happening on Friday, get the date right, Noah, 4th of August, at 2:30, hint, hint, if you want to come along, we are doing some missions trip outreaches in the coming days towards that. Oscar or Ari, tell us about what we're doing on Thursday.
yeah, so we are going out again into Teignmouth, into the streets. We're going to be putting on a little bit of a flash mob, so like typical Christmas flash mob without the elves and Santas. We'll be putting on a big dance piece in the middle of the town square, I believe it is. And then we're going to have people talking about the Passion coming up. So it's really exciting.
We're going to have some of the cast giving their... We're going to have some of the cast explaining briefly why they're involved in the Passion and stuff and why they're doing it, like their testimony sort of thing, as well as outreach and dance and stuff. It's going to be awesome. And then we're also getting involved with an amazing church down in Teignmouth, led by the wonderful Pastor Dave, who is so kindly hosting us as the missions team and stuff. And we're getting involved in their life groups, which is going to be amazing.
It is. We're looking forward to some amazing times of fellowship and ministry. And there is a timer going off. So you're at our table with us and timers are going off. Amazing. But yeah, so we are looking forward to it. We're going to see just such cool things happen. So to anyone who's listening, please be praying for us in this week that's coming ahead, that we are sensitive to the Spirit, that we are hearing his voice, that we are obeying his voice would be a good one as well. And that all the people who are meant to come and hear the Passion Play's message would come and hear it and be there. But explain to us someone, because people might be thinking, why on earth are you doing a Passion Play in the middle of August in Devon, one of the tourist hotspots of the UK? In the summer, isn't the Passion Play an Easter event?
There's a simple answer to that. Because at Easter we were doing the Passion Play somewhere else, and we can't be everywhere at the same time.
Give me a more spiritual one, please.
A more spiritual answer would be perhaps the story of the resurrection, death and resurrection of Jesus can be told at any time. It's
That's
relevant
right.
at
There
any
we go.
moment. So we're taking it around everywhere
You
at
can't
all
just get
times.
saved at Easter.
No, you can't.
And also, our Passion production doesn't just focus on the death and resurrection of Jesus. We have the run up to that. We have a very small bit at the start. We even involve parts of the Christmas story and what happened from the very beginning. And then we see the miracles of Jesus and the way his life affected others. And it just goes on and on until death and resurrection, until the ascension as well. So it covers the lifespan of Jesus on the stage. So I guess you could call it a passion on the life of Christ kind of thing, a very condensed life of Christ.
It's a bit of a blend of the life of Christ and the passion story, isn't it? But all that to say, we are doing the passion play in the summer because it's a story that deserves to be told all year round, and it shouldn't just be limited to Easter. Even that's when we choose to celebrate it. You know, it is the very thing that is at the heart of our Christian faith. That is the thing that keeps it alive, keeps it beating, as it were, for lack of a better word. You know, that story of Jesus' death and resurrection, and we should be telling it all year round.
Absolutely. And of course, we're hoping and praying that the weather's going to be nice. There's not going to be any rain, because so far it's been quite wet. And today it's slightly sunny, a little bit overcast. If it's like this on Friday, actually it'd work quite well.
Yeah.
We were a
today's
little
nice.
concerned, weren't we, about the sun just bearing down on everybody, but prayerfully that won't happen.
It'll
And
be
it'll
good.
be a good day.
It'll be good. We've got a nice big stage coming. We've got all the PA system coming and all the microphones.
Scaffolding.
To any nerds out there that are interested in that side of things, you like this conversation. To anyone who hasn't got a clue about these side of things, this will probably not be the most entertaining part of the podcast as I ramble on about speakers and staging.
We do have what else is actually going on in Tim's at the same time? Which is going
Sailing regatta.
You've got
It's a sailing
haven't
regatta,
you?
isn't it?
So there should be lots of people around, and it's the summer holidays. We're
Yeah.
hoping to get a really good audience. So there's lots of people that get to hear the message, because where we are, we've realised in the 2 or 3 times that we've been down this way, that spiritually it's quite a hard area, because there's an awful lot of other
Well, it's an awful
belief
lot
systems
of
going on down here, aren't there?
witchcraft and
Yeah.
wizardry and all that kind of stuff going on in the area as well.
There is. It's very sort of quite a paganistic area of the country.
But praise
And-
God for people like Simply Church and other churches who are, you know, ploughing the ground. And actually a shout out
Absolutely.
to Simply Church and Pastor Dave. In the month running up to us actually being here to do the Passion Play, they've been out on the streets witnessing, as they do normally anyway, but witnessing and praying over the Passion Play and speaking to people about Christ and handing out leaflets and things like that. So they've already started to put seeds in the ground for when the Passion comes along, which is amazing to think that support has been 5 hours away from us and they're already ploughing the ground, you know,
They've done an
getting
amazing
ready
job. They have.
for the Passion to come. So it's absolutely amazing.
Even with the last minute things that are needed, like a couple of tables and some chairs.
Yes,
All those little
if
things.
you ever decide to run a musical, you are going to need things at the last minute. Just take that advice. You're going to need it. It's going to be good fun. There seems to always be something right at the last minute that we've forgotten.
So talking
Whether
of
that's a
musicals-
hair grip
Well, yeah.
or a full-blown car and trailer, as we found out in Leek when you wrecked your car
When we
on
had-
the way to the show.
When I had an accident,
Yes.
that's what you mean, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What he's saying, listeners, is that I pranged the car and we suddenly realised that we had no transportation. So we had a last minute panic
That was good
to
fun.
try and sort that out.
And that was on the morning of the setup as
It
well.
was.
The morning of
It
the
does-
show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
So that's enough from the male voices. Okay, because at the end of the day, the musical theatre piece does come down to the director. And it might be good for the director just to say a few words on what's happening. This wonderful director has been working her socks off.
that's what all the tapping is in the background, actually, at this very moment. That is the
still
sound
working.
of Mum's MacBook tapping away, writing a partner letter, actually. So if you hear this podcast before the partner letter, it's on its way. If you hear it afterwards, why haven't you read it yet? No, I'm joking, but it's all good. Mother, would you like to share a few words about the Passion?
I'm currently trying to work out how to download the brochure you made to do with the new vision, actually, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
In the words of Yogi, he would say, "Okay, Miss
Movie Maker Lady.
Mrs. Movie Maker Lady.
Mrs. Musical Movie Maker Lady.
One or the other.
So the Passion Play hasn't changed really at all since we did it in April, other than to say that we have some new cast members and the fact that we are really honoured that the vision that's been in our heart for a long time, that God will bring people from all different counties in the UK together to perform together. is coming to pass this summer, which is beautiful to see. Friends that have been friends with us for 9 or 10 years now. We have young Josie coming up from Surrey to play a part, which means sadly the little young lady who was playing her part can't be with us. But as we miss one, we gain another. So that's special. We've had several new cast members join the company in the Midlands. And some of our faithful regular ones are still with us and performing again. So it's a completely different cast. And when you direct with a new cast, even, you know, some of those changes being, you know, last moment and having some people step in from down here in Devon. Thank you, Josh.
Yes.
It's always nerve-wracking at one stage to see how they're going to work and gel together. But on the other side of things, at the end of directing something with new people in, it's always precious to see not just how they came together to perform and how special and awesome the musical becomes, the different dynamics they bring, the different gifts they bring to the stage. But also, and more than anything for me, is to see the relationships that are built. You know, we look back over years and find that there are connections that we made way back when Manor began, even before the 10 years of being the charity, when Manor started in Harpenden, right back in 2006, that there is a family that we are still in contact with that actually live in Devon that may be bringing their homeschooling group to see the Passion. So thinking of the connections that God made, you know, all the way back then, and that they are still there, and God is still working in lives and still changing lives. So I'm excited to see what God does in this amazing group of people who are all staying together under one roof. I'm excited to see how many bits of toast they can burn and set the fire alarms off.
As long as no one toasts crackers, I will not be held responsible for any toasted on fire Rivita crackers.
Yes, because we don't want, of course, Ari to influence anyone on that.
I haven't brought toast this time. We got berries instead.
For those of you that haven't heard that in the previous podcast, Ari was being very kind and making lunch for everyone and doing some toast with butter.
To be fair, Mum said make sure it's all toasted, and I thought, oh, she meant the Rivita crackers as well because they come raw.
And,
they're not raw.
And so Rivita was put in the toasters, and before long, Ari realised they were not Pop-Tarts.
There were flames leaping up the side of our cabinets in this new house we'd just moved into.
We won't say which one.
That's right.
And
oh my gosh.
So we're looking forward to seeing who has to show grace to who has developed an amazing friendship, who wishes somebody would take their feet off the table, who wishes somebody would put their cutlery in the right place. You know, it's going to be a beautiful mix of lots of personalities learning to live with one another for a week. But hey, that's what missions is about. In fact, I was listening to Rick Renner yesterday, who, if you don't know who he is, check him out. An awesome man of God who just doesn't just preach the word, but dives into the word, pulls it apart, goes into the Greek and Hebrew and really proves the word. And on another note, that's where yesterday I heard another podcast by another great guy called Gary Cassie, who said, as Christians, we should be spiritual scientists. And I thought, wow, that's quite awesome. So Rick Renner is one of those spiritual scientists who doesn't just read the word, but pulls it apart and wants to prove the word by seeing the history, all of that around it. And he was saying yesterday about how if we don't fulfill the Great Commission as going into all the world and preaching the gospel, and we focus on prayer or we focus on activities within our church and whatever else, we will lose the power to even do those other activities, because the first activity, the first commandment that God told us is to go, and the missions are that. So I'm excited that we get to experience missions again, and that maybe, I know some of the team for the first time are experiencing a missions trip.
Well, so that's one of the special things as well about our cast, like you were saying about how relationships and connections are made. One of the special things is we actually did a missions trip to Teignmouth, didn't we, early last year? And we did that with Caris Bible College in the UK. And we had an amazing group of people on there who we did missions with, and we did an incredible outreach performance at the end of it that just touched so many lives, and there's some amazing testimonies from that. But some of the cast, in fact, actually, I think three of the cast who were involved in that performance have actually since joined Manor on this missions trip and are coming back to do it again, but this time on a bigger scale with a passion play.
That's
You know,
right.
so it's super amazing.
That's
Super
pretty awesome.
encouraging,
And,
that's right.
you know, being back in the same place where we have been twice now. No, three times.
Three times, yeah.
Teignmouth, yeah. We brought Legacies here in 20-something. 2021?
I think it was latter half of 21, yeah.
Just after.
And then we came back here as a
Lockdown.
family to do some filming. And then we're back here again.
we did the mission trip last year.
Oh, yeah. And then we did the missions trip
So this
with
is
Karen.
our
Fourth time in Teignmouth.
Yeah.
done. So we had in 2021 we brought our Legacies cast here, which is a World War II mixed with Nehemiah. So it's a parallel musical. It was amazing. Then we came back. So that was 2021. Then we came back the Easter of 2022, and we did this mission trip with Karis that we were just talking about. Then in January of this year? January of this year, we came back and we did some filming in the theatre here, and like some video outreach stuff. And then we're back here again. We have a habit of coming here twice every year, don't we? Or something like
It
that.
looks that way.
And we're back here again.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we are, about to do the passion play. But Mum was talking, Oscar, about ministering, and we know that's something that God's been speaking to you a lot about recently.
You were about to leap on the microphone.
Yes, and you were literally about to jump on the microphone, and then,
So
and
I
then
will
something
give you
came
a
up.
lead back in so
A
you
lead.
remember. So I was saying how Rick Renner said, who is a brilliant Bible scholar, who Gary Cassie said we need to be spiritual scientists, and he is one of these spiritual scientists. And I said that missions is something we are required to do and to share the gospel with all those around us and do missions trips and everything else, because if we omit that from our walk with God, we actually lose the power to have any power in any other area of our life. And
Yeah.
I think you grabbed the mic at that moment.
I did. It's just something I'm really passionate about. I have been for a long time, since finding out about Todd White's ministry, who's another awesome guy. He's an evangelist. And just talking about missions in that sense, I think there is I guess, a forgotten part of Christianity, which is sharing our faith. Not everyone's forgotten it, because there's lots of Christians who are doing it, but I think it's not commonplace for a Christian to share their faith. We can just blend in with the public and with people, in the world.
People seem to find it harder recently, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And ever since COVID, I think it's been a lot more tricky being able to come up to people and just be open and honest. But although the Bible says that some are called to be evangelists, it says everyone's called to evangelize. So we're all called to do that. Some people are singled out, people like Todd White, to do it as like their ministry. But as Christians, we are called to witness of Jesus everywhere we go, through our lifestyle, through our speech and actions. And that's what we want to do this summer. We just want to go out there, and whether we're going to restaurants or performing, we want to be a living example of Jesus and his life.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. So,
Can't really add much to that.
you can't add much to that. No, that's brilliant. That's
Hence the slight pause
a
there.
good word. Did you have something you wanted to say? I can see you leaning into the mic there.
So for the next few weeks, we will be here. Well,
Yeah.
next week or so, we will be here. And then we are getting into our caravan. And the older teens amongst us are going to serve at another name drop, another promotion coming.
Yeah, we're going to serve at a tent
Big
revival.
tent revival
Yeah.
with Daniel Chang
That's
in
right.
Bedfordshire.
Yeah. Daniel Chan's big tent revival
Right, in Bedford, that's right.
in Bedford. So
Bedford, Biggleswade, somewhere around there. Isn't
yeah.
Anyone else get that Zach Williams song going through their head? Big tent revival. That was Zach Williams, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was
good.
Zach Williams, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're going to do, and then we are doing a kids camp in the coming weeks as well, and then
Our church, Gateway
yeah, with our
Christian Centre.
church, yeah, absolutely, and then there's something else.
And then we're
Was there?
speaking at a church
That's
in
right.
Surrey.
You're also
as
going
a
to see your
family.
grandparents.
And we're going to
Yeah.
see Nana and Papa,
Yes, we are.
which is always fun.
And then we're going to see
Why
some
is Nana
friends.
and Papa fun?
What?
Why are Nana and Papa fun? Or
Papa's fun and Nana is fun, but they're great.
tell him
Papa-
about your chest thing.
my chest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know when he was like,
Is this the fun story? For
you know
today?
when he was like, oh,
Oscar's
Oz.
one.
Oh, yeah. So me and my papa, we have a big thing. I've had it for, I don't know how long we've had it for, but almost every single time we see each other, we've played a game of chess, because my only ambition was to beat him for so long, and I couldn't do it. And I did, just recently. And Papa was kind of a bit lost for words. So he kept getting himself tongue-tied. First of all, he got my name. Then he got the year wrong.
I think he was doing it on purpose.
Then he called it the 4th of July, because I made him record it for evidence. But it was fun. So yeah, he's great. He's got a laugh that is so loud it is heard everywhere.
Oh yes.
We've seen lots of black people in and around the area, and we often say things like, "That looks like Papa. That looks like Papa."
But you can't hear him.
But then someone says, "Yeah, that's not Papa," because if it was Papa, you'd hear him before you saw him.
Yeah.
Papa's from Zimbabwe.
No, he's not.
No, it's not.
No, he's from Barbados. Never mind. I've got a friend in Zimbabwe currently, okay? It's in my head. Blah, blah, blah. Our papa is from Barbados, and he keeps threatening to smuggle papayas in his underwear back across here to make a cocktail.
He does?
He does, yeah, he keeps saying.
Obviously, he'd never tell our parents that. So.
He's going to make us a cocktail. We don't drink, by the way. He's going to make us a cocktail and smuggle papayas.
The one place you should never go on holiday with Papa is to any form of ski resort, because if he laughs, he'll start an avalanche.
That papaya thing started with our lockdown letters. We wrote to each other during lockdown to keep each other.
This was in the bus.
Yeah. And so we wrote to each other, and it was very special. And he told me that when I saw him, he would be hiding papayas in his underpants and start a Barbados bar. So that was
Papayas from Papa.
So actually, we mentioned a little bit earlier that there's a vision
There is a
that
vision.
God's been working on in our hearts.
Where can they find this?
That also includes some news about Big Yellow, the bus.
It does.
It does. And on that note, we're going to not tell you.
Yes,
we're
we
gonna,
are.
What, this time? This
Just
very
a
time?
little bit.
Okay, just a little bit. Okay, well, you asked a question about where they can find the vision. Our website is about to have a major update, and you're about to see all of everything that's coming later this year and in early 2024. God has renewed some parts of the vision in us refined and renewed. There's been a few parts of the vision that have been let to rest just for a little while, and God's just gone, okay, now's the time to bring them back. And they're coming back, and there's an excitement in our family. There's an excitement in the area. There's an excitement around us. We are super excited. Duh. How many times can you say excitement for what God is bringing? So the website is going to reflect that in the coming days. I'm not sure when this podcast is going out, if it's going out in the next coming days or if it's going out after
now.
the website. So you might see the edits after this is released, or you might be able to see them right now. Either way,
It
check the
depends on
website.
the
The likelihood is you'll be able to see them right now.
Well, the internet here is notorious, isn't it?
Yeah, the internet's a bit bad here, so just keep a watch out. It will be there, but it's coming very, very soon. It'll be out by Friday, or the Friday the 4th. So make sure that you're keeping an eye out, because there is some exciting stuff happening. Some stuff that actually has been asked of us for a long time. It is raining, but that's not unusual.
Yes, I love the rain.
So,
We don't want the rain.
do you want to give us, Mum and Dad,
Yeah.
the quick 5-minute or however long it takes rundown of what the vision is, where it's going, and what's happening? Because manna was the vision that God gave you. So I feel like you guys might be the best people to share it.
I guess we would be, but the best person really to share it would be my good wife, because she is so eloquent.
Okay, so very, very quickly, we have a vision coming out. Well, it's out now. If you are on our partner list to one of our family partners, then you will be getting a newsletter in your inbox like now.
I've just received mine.
The vision is something that has been on our heart for a very long time, and we have done parts of the vision, and we have dreamed about parts of the vision, and the Lord has said now. So it's been an incredibly personal journey over the last 4 or 5 months, where we have had to go back over words God has given us personally, prophetically, and search our hearts. Where have we gone wrong? Where have we got it right? Why are we frustrated? Why are we feeling blessed? And as a dear friend always says to me, the blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. Yeah. So if that is the case, which we believe the word to be, then anything that wasn't feeling like a blessing clearly was a little bit off the path. Yeah. So we had come to the realization that we weren't fully fulfilling all that God had called us or asked of us to do. So we are in September to December taking a part sabbatical, in as much as not stopping what we're currently doing in the Midlands, but we won't be launching the full vision until January 2024, and using the time between September and December to continue doing what we're doing with Manor Theatre Company in Midlands on a Saturday. And we will be doing two things in the run up to Christmas. We will be having something called A Night with Manor, which will be a beautiful Christmas presentation of song, dance and drama for people to come and sit at tables and be spoilt for an evening with nice things to eat and drink while they are entertained and have the gospel given to them. Yeah. So that's happening on December the 17th. Please keep that free. That's a Sunday evening.
Yeah, open to everybody. Come and join us.
We will also be doing what we're going to call big yellow Christmas present drop, where we are, as a family and as a team, going to be fundraising as each individual to find at least £100, where we can then gather all those £100 together and go out and do a big present shop and wrapping and take presents down some of the estates in the Birmingham area and knock doors and bless people
out the back of Big Yellow
with Big Yellow, and people will certainly hear her coming. So they're the two things we're doing as a family in the run up to Christmas, including podcasting and audiobook, and taking a bit of a sabbatical. As a family, the podcasts haven't been happening for quite a while because we have been through a very difficult and tragic circumstance in our family, which at some point we will share fully with you all when healing allows us to do that. But that's why we've been absent. So please pray for us as a family. We really need it right now. And then in January 2024, we will be launching our vision, which is partly what we've done before. In Surrey, we used to have something called Manor Academy, which was a performing arts academy, Christian performing arts academy for children ages 6 to 16, whereby they had individual age-related classes. And in those classes for an hour, we taught them musical theatre through dance, drama and music. The academy in Surrey grew to over 150 kids and young people at one point, and it was just a buzzing afternoon and evening where children of all different ages came together. Parents were able to sit in the foyer, have coffee, tea and toasted sandwiches, care of our lovely Danny. And we want to relive that up here. We believe that there is a time in the realm of the spirit where God is saying it's time to pioneer the work for the young people and the children of this nation. Absolutely. Whereby we can give them an opportunity to express themselves in arts in a godly Christian environment, to learn about the Lord also through the arts, using music that inspires and doesn't compromise, using dance and drama that inspires and doesn't compromise, and giving them an opportunity to be part of those classes from January, coming to the Walsall area. We're not too sure whether it will be in Walsall, but hopefully within 20 minutes radius of Walsall. And we are going to take over a building. Yes, we are. And we are going to teach these children and young people how to serve God through the arts and drama and music.
And on that note, podcast listeners, that's what I'm going to call you all, just for now, until I get to meet you personally, and then I'll try and call everybody by name. We want to ask you a question. Manor, part of its vision is finding a place that we want to call the dwelling, where we are going to build our base for Manor, our mission space.
Which is part of the vision.
Which is part of the vision. And that will also be on the website very shortly for you to look at as well. And what is there now, but there'll be like a more expanded part of it with the updated website.
There's so much more we can say, isn't there?
Exactly. There's so much more we can say. But we want this mission space where people can come and learn to use the arts to spread the gospel, where we can run Manor Kids, where we can run Manor Adults, where we can run. I'm going to drop a name that we haven't mentioned yet, Manor Dance. So Pacific dance classes in the Christian
my dancers
arts.
out there, come join me.
But we want this to be a hub where the performing arts are used to share the gospel, to love on people, for people to come and soak in the presence of God as well. So all that to say, if anyone knows of any buildings or any land in the West
Or a
Midlands
field.
area, a field,
field with a
whatever,
building.
we're prepared to build if we have to, whatever it is.
Well,
If you know of anything-
let's just clarify very
Yeah,
quickly. Our dream is to have our own acreage where we can then put low-lying barns, training rooms, and things like that, and out in the sort of semi-rural, where we're away from the hubbub and where people can come and worship and train and various other things, all in one area. So our heart is actually to have 2 or 3 acres of land.
We want it to serve as like an almost retreat as well for
Yeah,
people. So
absolutely.
you come for training, but you can also come to
all going to be on
refresh.
the website.
Yeah, exactly.
So alongside Manor Kids, we are restarting Manor Dance, which is something that we did in Surrey and got up to about 30 young people of all ages, boys and girls, coming together to warm up to worship music. We did ballet exercises, stretching, conditioning, all those kinds of things, all to Christian music. So it was amazing because very heart of Manor is that it's having the character to carry the calling.
Absolutely.
And very much in a lot of performing arts and dance and drama schools, it is the push to be the best, better than all the rest. I think there's a song in there as well. And, that is definitely not our heart, although we strive to get the young people, children and adults to find the excellence that God's put in them. It's not at the cost of bringing another down or
it's not at the
squashing
cost of
somebody
character.
else. No.
Yeah.
And very often we will cast people in roles because of character rather than their gifting, because you can work with character and you can strengthen a gift, but you can't have a gift and have no character. So it's our heart to see young people and children in a safe environment, in all safeguarding DBS, all that goes on, obviously within Manor. But dance is something that's coming back again. So
Yeah.
Ari is heading up the dance school, and we are praying God to the Lord for people in our current Manor team who currently attend Manor Midlands, if they are on their hearts to help support, lead some of these areas, some of these groups, these classes. We have curriculum coming out of our ears from the 9 years we were in Surrey.
Yeah.
So it's all ready to go. And so
indeed.
Manor Midlands, Manor Dance, and Manor Kids, Manor Dance will be starting. Manor Theatre Company for 16s and overs will continue on Saturdays,
Yep.
which is what we're currently working with now. Then we have something called the Passion School.
Yeah.
And
This is a biggie.
This is
We're-
like the launch of the iPhone.
We're
Anyway.
very excited about the Passion School, having seen the effects of doing the Passion play 3 times now, and also the Christmas musical retelling of the Christmas story Relentless, which we wrote. We have seen the need for biblical drama and musicals to really infect, and I use the word infect because somebody said the other day, you put a well person around a crowd of sick people, and the wellness doesn't rub off on the sick people generally get the sickness. So we want to put what we're doing out there, and we just have some Lego men landing in cream. We want to put the Bible out there in musical theatre, and we want to infect the areas with the gospel so it's catching. And down Surrey, in the Surrey Guildford area, there is an amazing group there called Wintershall, which we love dearly. And we always say in the car, we'd love to be the Wintershall of the North, where we can bring people together in the field, in the dwelling, in the grounds God's going to give us.
That's right.
And present 2 musicals a year. One just at the beginning of summer about the passion of Jesus and his story, which we're about to do, and then one at Christmas called Relentless Legacies, which is
Yes.
coming in 2024. And the children of Manor Kids and Manor Dance will have opportunities to be part of that big cast. But the Passion School will be not a once a week thing where people will come, not a once a Saturday thing where people will come, but will be people who say, you know what, my life needs to be sold out for the arts, but for Jesus.
Sure.
And I want to be involved in these 2 musicals a year. I want to take on a cast role, a tech role, a props role, a music role, whatever that might be. But
Bread roll.
a bread roll.
A drum roll.
Yeah, well, we do need cooks. Yeah, that's a good thing. Take on a integral part of my life. So just like somebody would go to college or go to uni or take a year out at a missions base, we are launching the Passion School in spring 2024, where we're looking for a team of 15, ages 18 and over, and they will come and be what we call interns every afternoon, Tuesday afternoon to Friday afternoon, and once every fortnight on a Saturday to work with us, where we will, as a family, impart into them everything God has given to us over the last 10 years in dance, in musical theatre, in tech, in props, in costumes. And also I will be taking them through 2 Trinity College London exams. So they will come out with some qualifications in speech and drama and musical theatre. So they will give their lives, term time only, for a year, and they'll work with us, serve with us in Manor Kids, Manor Dance, and we will see God do amazing things in their lives in a year, and they will turn around, go back to their churches and start fires all over the nation.
Absolutely.
We might keep hold of some of them.
We
Some
may
of them
well
may
do.
want to stay.
And of course, there's going to be opportunity in all of that as well for them to take the training they're using and use it on the streets and in churches to minister.
Absolutely. It
And
won't just
even
be
in
the 2
schools.
musicals.
Yeah,
We
no,
will be, because
yeah,
they'll be with
absolutely.
us every afternoon.
Exactly.
If we are given the opportunity to go and do mini skits and mini presentations, we will be off and running with this team, because they will be giving their lives for that year with us. So if that's sparking interest in you and you are in your 70s, we would love to have you.
Absolutely.
If that's sparking interest in you and you're a teenager and you're thinking, oh man, I'm only 17, email in. If we can get a couple that could be house parents for us and be responsible for young people 16 to 18, we will prayerfully consider if that's something we could do. Otherwise, if you're 18 to 120, we would love to have you as
right.
Zechariah.
18 tension.
Absolutely.
18 to
there is no upper age
my
on it,
saying, Oscar, actually is young to wise.
Young to wise. Fair enough.
which means you get wiser every day,
That's
which is
the
also
plan.
an added benefit. So consider it.
Eli, would you like to give a little Bible lesson on Eli? Then just
Oh, bless him.
little thing. Is that true? You get wiser every day. So, well, you're supposed to get wiser every day. You're supposed to get more and more like Jesus every day.
It depends how much time you spend on your iPad every day.
Yeah.
So consider the Passion School a performing arts mission
Training
camp.
Yeah.
I've butchered that,
Yeah.
but still.
We've done our very best to keep
Essentially,
costs
that's what it
really low for the year. And obviously at this present time, we don't have accommodation. However, there is lots of student accommodation around the area. And as soon as we have got our training facility that we'll be using for Manor Kids, Manor Dance, we will also be looking to use that for the Passion School until we get our land and building ourselves.
Absolutely.
And the dream is to be able to put static accommodation on there so that in a few years' time, maybe even by 2025, you can come and live and breathe manor on the manor land.
Absolutely.
So get ready to be involved in the crazy.
Yes, the
live,
crazy crooks.
and all others that God brings to work with us. This is a dream and a vision God's given us. It's been there for 15 years. It's been confirmed over and over. It's not just something we picked out the sky. This is something that people have picked us out of crowds and spoken over us. And God's saying, go now.
It's time.
Yeah.
So we are on a massive fundraiser to raise the money for the dwelling.
Absolutely.
That is going to also be on our website.
Yep.
But if you have a field and you fancy and feel that God's telling you to give it, then we will receive it.
Absolutely.
I now have a tower of Lego men next to me.
Yes, you
Do you know what,
Pretty tall.
Eli? That reminds me of a picture that I've got on my phone where somebody sent me a picture of a line of souls, all people, and they were all walking. And then as they hit a certain point in the picture, these souls were going up to heaven. And it was something like every minute or something, so many people die and go to be with the Lord, or
Somewhere else.
don't go to be with the Lord, and that's sobering.
It is sobering. So,
On that sobering note.
all that to say, we are doing some exciting stuff right now with the Passion, with tent revivals, with camps that we're doing over the summer. We've got some exciting things happening in the latter half of this year and beginning of next year. So a couple of things you can be praying for us for. Please be praying for us for the Passion. Please be praying about all the stuff we've got happening missions-wise this coming summer, all the stuff that God's got planned later this year and in the beginning of next year. Pray for our family right now, because the situation we're in at this minute in time is, as Mum said earlier, it's been a tragic and a hard season for us to walk through.
That's right.
And we could really do with your prayers. Can't share right now, but we will soon. And we're believing that, what the enemy meant for harm, God will turn around and use for good. And that there will be a testimony out of this. So please be praying for us on that front. Thank you so much to everybody who listens to our podcast. We just love to take you on this journey with us and share what God's put on our heart, and share stories from the mission field and mission trips that we're doing. It's a privilege to be able to do these things and then share testimony with everyone who listens. So from the Crick family, currently sat in Loo, Cornwall, it is a big goodbye. Well, thank you so much for listening. As said, we absolutely love having you with us and you joining us. It's a privilege to be able to share these things with you. Me and my family, we are full-time missionaries. My parents are Christian workers, which means that they live off of the kind support of people just like you to meet our daily living costs. So if you feel led to give to our family or support our family, whether that's financially or in prayer, you can go to our website to find out more. Or if you'd like to speak to one of us, you can email us at hello@Manna Theatre Company, which is MANNA, hello@mannatheatrecompany.uk, and one of us will get back to you shortly. So again, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, this has been the Crick House.